Thank you, Barry.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It's 7:05. At this time, we have some special guests with us. So if the Girl Scout Troop 60298, if we could all stand and they could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Go ahead, girls.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And there's cookies available out in the lobby if anybody hasn't bought their cookies
I
yet.
gotta get my cookies.
I'm
gonna try cookies. Hey, I'm missing my page.
So just a point of information, tonight we are doing a test of live streaming of the city council meeting. So tonight is actually our beta test. The only thing I'd like to point out is that if you be cognizant of the black microphones that you have in various places around the council table, that we don't ruffle our papers against them, or just be mindful that those are the microphones that are picking up the audio of the meeting. And Dave Richards will give us more information later on in the meeting about that. So that being said, if I could ask the clerk to please call the roll for tonight.
Councilman Donovan.
Here.
Councilwoman O'Connor.
Here.
Councilwoman Hosky.
Here.
Councilman Conlon.
Here.
Councilwoman Johnston.
Here.
Councilman Galignano.
Here.
Councilwoman Hamilton.
Here.
Councilman Massaro.
Here.
Councilwoman McGee.
Here.
Councilwoman Finelli.
Here.
Councilman Bruno.
Here.
Councilman Cohen.
Here.
And Chairman Quagliani.
Here. Okay, thank you. We have a quorum. Now up is the City Council public hearing regarding the Community Development Citizen Participation Program, and I will turn that over to the Housing, Planning, and Recreation Committee Chairwoman, Councilwoman McGee.
We have before us Communication D from CDA Manager Bart Basaccia in regards to the Citizen Participation Plan. Would anyone from the public like to address this topic? Would anyone like from the, for the second time, would anyone from the public like to address this topic? It's from CDA Manager Mark Basaccia in regards to the Citizen Participation Plan.
Regular public comment will follow this.
Would anyone, for the third time, would anyone like to address the public committee on this topic? Okay. Public session is closed.
Thank you, Councilwoman McGee. So we'll enter into public comment. We ask that if you want to speak, please raise your hand, be recognized, come to the podium, name and address for the record. I ask you to be cordial with the council and those in attendance here tonight. So at this point, is there anyone from the public that would like to address the city council?
My name is William Benson. I live at 16 Eaton Street. I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I built the Vietnam Memorial down at the Captain Thomas Boulevard. I'm here to address the idea about where you want to put the flag on Allentown Green. Many of you saw the pictures. They wanted to stick it on the corner of Post Road and Forest Road. That's not a place to stick a flag. Either you stick it behind the monument to honor these people who died for this country, who died for that flag, or put it in front of them. You don't stick it behind somewhere on a post road like it's a bus stop. That's my grief. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Benson. I'll make sure your Councilman Massaro or Councilwoman Hamilton gets back to you with that. Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to address the City Council? Mr. Canning.
Bill Canning, 28 Big Spruce Lane. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Bill Canning. I am the current chairman of the Water Pollution Control Commission. Just recently, a situation arose that requires some attention and costly repair to meet state and federal guidelines and codes. I learned that 9th District Councilman Robert Bruno volunteered his equipment, his men, time, and expertise to help alleviate the burden on the West Haven taxpayer. This act of generosity and kindness speaks volumes to me. It also rekindles a spirit of working together for the correct solution for the citizens. I look forward to our collaboration, and on behalf of the entire Water Pollution Control Commission, humbly accept his offer. I also ask the clerk of the council to include this letter into the minutes of the meeting as a testament that acts of goodness be recognized and validated as such. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Canning, and thank you, Councilman Bruno.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public that would like to address the City Council for a second time? Anyone from the public like to address the City Council for a third time? Anyone from the public like to address the City Council? Seeing none, public comment is now closed. We'll enter into the regular council meeting. First order of business is the approval of the minutes of February 24th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Galignano and Councilman Cohen. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by many. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. If I could ask the clerk to pass out tonight's communications.
We have before us Communication A from Cystic Fibrosis Foundation regarding a fee waiver for a charitable event being assigned to the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Hosky. We have Communication B from the Finance Director regarding transfer of funds for the Allentown Fire Department being assigned to the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Hosky. We have before us Communication C from Chief of Police Joseph Perno regarding animal shelter donations being assigned to the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Hosky. And we have before us Communication D from CDA Manager Mark Bisecchia regarding the Citizens Participation Plan being assigned to the Housing, Planning, and Recreation Committee, Chairwoman McGee.
Thank you, Stacy. We do have one adjustment to the agenda. Originally under executive session was the update on the City of West Haven's pandemic plan. We are going to move that forward to actually right now so that the public has an opportunity to hear what the city's plans are regarding their overall pandemic plan and specifically the coronavirus response for the City of West Haven. So at this time, I'd ask Joe Soto, who's the Emergency Management Coordinator for the City of West Haven, to come up and give us a brief overview, and then if the council has any questions, we'd entertain those questions.
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
Like the chairman stated, my name is Joseph Soto. I'm the emergency manager for the city. We are prepared. We've been monitoring the situation. We've been working closely with local partners, including the university, making sure that we are all up to speed. We've had numerous conference calls with the state, local, and federal to ensure that we are all caught up and up to date with the latest guidance that's being provided. The Director of Health, Maureen Lillis, has done an excellent job in making sure that she's been out there answering any questions. We have our public health emergency preparedness plan in place. We are following the flu policies that have been distributed by the state, and we are prepared. If there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Councilwoman Hamilton.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Does your plan, does that include, do you talk to the fire departments also? Are they
Yes,
included in it?
yes, we're working very closely with the fire department and their EMS agency within the department. So
Police
all three.
also?
And police as well.
Thank you.
Councilman Donovan.
You're saying you have the plan in place. How would people find out about this plan, or
How would they get notified about the plan? How would people get notified?
Well, we do notifications either on the website, and we're gonna be sending out probably some mailers as well. Our plan is more of an internal plan that we activate once an incident starts to occur, so that we start communication with all our partners, including the police, fire, and the EMS division, the city, the mayor's office, all department heads, to make sure that everybody's up to speed and everybody's prepared.
Test kits, I know that was a big thing with the government and there's not enough of them.
Test kits are usually how it normally happens is if there's someone that's potentially been exposed or potentially has the virus, they normally goes through the hospital, and so, or through their personal physician. Then that goes to the state of Connecticut. Then the state of Connecticut notifies us. The test is already being conducted, usually through a local, either through a physician or through the hospital.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Hosky?
So, you're planning, but what is the plan? Because, I mean, I work at a building and for a company that's hundreds of employees.
Sure.
So we're bringing in, when everybody leaves, they have to like take everything with them so everything can, I don't know how they're cleaning everything, but they're cleaning everything every night.
Sure.
So like, what are we doing differently to protect?
Well, we're giving some guidance referring to making sure you wash your hands, make sure you don't touch your mouth or your nose during this time. The biggest thing is the hand sanitizer. It needs to at least be 70% alcohol to be effective. We're including City Hall. We're asking the building department to go through and do some extra wiping downs with the antiseptic wipes. So for us as a building and as local government, making sure that we're staying operational by preventing and cleaning and doing some extra duties.
So the diligence is like on the hand sanitizer, so like all the containers in the building are full, or like they're getting restocked every night? And I'm just trying to, because I've been in the building a lot and I go to use them and they're empty, so.
Well, I'll talk to, mention to the building department.
No, I'm not saying right now, I'm just saying in regards to the plan.
Right, and part of the plan
Yes.
is making sure that there's plenty of hand sanitizer, plenty of equipment, whether it's equipment or hand sanitizer, so available.
And do we have cleaners during the day?
I would have to double check, I'm not sure.
I'm just wondering,
assuming
like,
so, yes.
what have we, is the only thing that we've changed thus far is communicating knowledge, but we haven't really,
No, I mean, we've stepped up the cleaning and,
right, that's what
and the cleaning and the education. Because the key to this virus is education. Making sure that you properly wash your hands as often as you can. Try not to touch things. Try not to shake, avoid shaking hands at this point in time. You want to be a little diligent on this. And we have to understand, while this is, it's spreading, it's going to probably become a lot worse. Our flu B was much worse last year. So what we're trying to do is slow it down and prevent it from being a catastrophic event.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, and I think, Joe, if I can, and tell me if I'm wrong, I believe that the city has enacted their emergency management team, which consists of all the stakeholders, right? City government, police, fire, Board of Education, to plan if in fact what happens if we need to reduce some type of services or whatever, and then that would go through the city's emergency notification systems that they typically have.
We would notify the public if we have to, downsize or tell employees to stay home because we had, say, an employee who is exposed or has symptoms. We might have to change how we operate. And that, along with working with the mayor's office and everything, will make the decision on how that happens.
Councilwoman O'Connor?
Online today, I noticed there's a lot of school systems that are having kids stay home, mostly colleges, and I think it was Norwalk this morning that had a 2-hour delay to get the teachers and everyone, besides just covering water fountains. Do we have a plan like that just in case?
Yeah, it would be under the direction of the public health director that whether we decide to close schools along with the superintendent if there's an issue, say if we have a student that's been exposed or potential, there's going to be conversation with the superintendent of schools along with public health to decide do we need to postpone, shut down, or, delay school? Allowing for cleaning or, the suspension.
And there will be a way for the children to continue their lessons while everyone's at home.
Well, I'm assuming each school district has their own plan. I would have to discuss with them. I'm sure, most universities, they'll probably try to switch to online education. But locally, they'll probably might have to catch up, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Councilman Bruno?
So, with that being said, let's say that there was an emergency within, where the city hall had to not be open for business per se, where the virus unfortunately hit internally. Seeing that the payroll for the police department and our building department permits are all issued through the city hall, do we have a command center ready to go?
Yes.
What are we gonna do if we can't come to the city hall?
Well, we can't come to the city hall, we're gonna enact our emergency operations plan, which means that all heads of the department are gonna come together, one, to discuss how we're gonna operate and continue operation of the city. We can't just cease operations, obviously, for payroll and finance situation. And the finance director is part of the emergency operation plan and part of the team. So they would, come to the meetings, and we would have to discuss on how we're gonna continue our operations.
You'd have to meet at the police department or one of the firehouse or
Currently,
something
the
like
emergency
that.
operations center is actually in the basement of City Hall, so it is here. But if we're unable to utilize the building for whatever purpose, we could relocate to the police department if we have to.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I would think part of this, and it's not uncommon, and I know that we've done this in the past, is continuity of operations,
Correct.
right? So if they can't come to work in this building, can we still run a payroll?
Absolutely.
Right, can we still issue permits? So, I'm under the impression that there is a plan to address those types of issues, so local government could continue if in fact, you can't actually function in your typical, normal 9-to-5 job.
Correct. And that's a standard plan that all cities have, and it's part of the emergency management.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, Joe, maybe it'd be helpful if, I know that you have all of our emails, so obviously any type of communication that goes out.
Sure.
Make sure that we are included in that distribution. So, I mean, we may potentially have constituents that call us and ask us questions. What's the city do? What's the Board of Ed doing? Or what's the city doing? Or am I gonna get delayed on my building permit or whatever else? So I think it's important to know that at some point soon that we could continue to provide these services if in fact we have to restrict certain areas of this, like this building,
Correct.
for example.
Yep, and if I don't have the emails, I'll communicate with you if you don't mind to make sure that.
Yeah, or Mike DeMasi, you could, in the office, he's the daytime office
Oh, okay.
staff, so he'd be able to help you out.
Very
All
good.
right.
All right.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay, we're into committee meetings, so the first committee is the Finance Committee.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hodge.
Thank you. The time is now 7:23, and the Committee on Finance is in session. Members present are Councilman Bruno, Massaro, Councilwoman Hamilton, Councilman Cohan, and myself acting as chair. We have before us Communication A from the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And I'd like to entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. We also have Communication B in front of us from the transfer of funds for the Allentown Fire Department. I would entertain a motion to approve.
Approve.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And we also have communication C in front of us from animal shelter donations. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
A second?
Second.
Councilman Bruno? Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
All one, just discussion.
No problem. Yeah, I just wanted to state that all of these donations, large or small, was really impactful this particular month, more so than other months, and a special thank you to all the individuals on here, and especially the First Congregational Church, which whatever they did with a big heart. That's all. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The Committee on Finance is closed at 7:26.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hosky. Next committee is the Housing, Planning, and Recreation Committee, Councilwoman McGee.
The time is now 7:25. The Committee on Housing, Planning, and Recreation is in session. Members present are Councilwoman Johnston, Councilman Donovan, Councilman Galignano, with myself acting as chair, the Honorable Councilwoman Renee McGee. I want to turn a motion to bring this out favorably.
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I
Committee.
have to abstain.
Okay. Oh yeah, 'cause you're on
I'm
it.
on
Yep.
that committee.
Okay. The Committee on Housing, Planning, and Recreation is closed at 7:26.
Thank you, Councilwoman McGee.
Oh.
Okay, unfinished business, we have on the agenda tonight the 2019-2021 City Council rules. And I would like to make a motion that we add to the rules a new section called Meetings of the City Council under Emergency Declarations. And the verbiage would be, should an emergency declaration be issued by the state of Connecticut or the city of West Haven, and such emergency declaration prohibits and/or prevents the city council to meet in person to conduct business for a regular, special, committee, or emergency meeting, the city council may meet via electronic means or methods to conduct the meeting. The clerk of the city council will be responsible for cataloging of actions taken and minutes of the meeting. That's my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by you, Pick. Is there any discussion on that motion? I think it's pretty self-explanatory in the times that we're in. We still need, as Joe Soto said, to be able to conduct business, and this would be a option B, obviously not preferred, but may be necessary. So that's the reason for modifying our council rules. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we will go to committee reports. The first committee to be heard from is the Finance Committee, Councilwoman Hosky.
To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of a fee waiver for a charitable event. Reports of the committee met on the 9th day of March 2020 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved, that the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves and authorizes a waiver of the Building Department and Health Department fees associated with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation Great Strides Walk scheduled for May 3rd, 2020.
Councilwoman Hosky has brought forward communication A from the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation in regards to a fee waiver for a charitable event. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Cohen. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of a transfer of funds for the Allentown Fire Department, reports that the committee met on the 9th day of March 2020 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved, that the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves and authorizes the following transfer of funds within the Allentown Fire Department current year budget. Account 1950010-56010, unallocated contingency decreases by $10,242. Account 1950010-52530, building maintenance and repair increases by $10,242.
Councilwoman Hosky has brought forward Communication B from the Finance Director in regards to a transfer of funds for the Allentown Fire Department. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bruno. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of the animal shelter donations, reports that the committee met on the 9th day of March 2020 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. The following donation to the Department of Public Service be approved and deposited into line item 101-000002885, animal shelter donations. Patrick Kelly, $150. Angela Russo, $100. Sharon Mulster, $100. Angela Russo, $100. Eileen Severino, $10. First Congregational Church, $500. West Haven Professional Firefighters, $75. Karen Swain, $25. And Nora Jacobson, $20.
Councilwoman Hosky has brought forward Communication C from the Chief of Police, Joseph Perno, in regards to animal shelter donations. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bruno or Cohen, and Cohen. Is there any discussion on those? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. You're next.
To the Honorable City Council of the City.
Hold on, turn that over.
Yeah, like, what's up, Mom?
You're all set? Okay.
Exactly.
Next committee is Housing, Planning, and Recreation Committee. Councilwoman McGee.
Now. To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Housing, Planning, and Recreation, to whom was referred the matter of the Citizen Participation Plan, reports that the committee met on the 9th day of March 2020 to consider said matter. It is the majority opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented: that the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves and authorizes the revisions and changes to the Community Development Citizen Participation Plan submitted by CDA Manager Mark Basacchia.
Councilwoman McGee has brought forward Communication D from CDA Manager Mark Vasaki in regard to the Citizen Participation Plan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Hamilton. Is there any discussion?
Discussion.
Councilman Cohen?
Yes, thank you. I spoke to Mark Pisecchia today on the phone because I just wanted clarification on one of the points. And number 4, the city and the CDA has established a grievance committee. And when I discussed this with him, I wanted clarification of who served on the grievance committee, because it basically reads currently right now, the way that it's written, that the committee will include 3 members of the Citizens Advisory Committee and the office staff of the CDA. And I didn't think that the staff actually served on the grievance committee, and they don't. They're advisors. So I would like to just amend that sentence to read instead, the committee will include the 3 members of the Citizens Advisory Committee, period. The office staff of CDA will serve as advisors, because right now it reads as if it's the same committee, and that's incorrect. So I make an amendment or motion.
What page is that, Councilman?
It's number 4, it's page 3
On the bottom.
on the bottom.
Yeah.
Come back. It's in bold letters.
So can you read again for the clerk
Yeah.
what your amendment is?
Yeah, on 4A, in section 4A, it says the city and CDA has established a grievance committee. I'm making a motion or an amendment to have it read as follows. This committee will include 3 members of the Citizens Advisory Committee, period. Next sentence. The office staff of CDA will serve as advisors, period. And the rest is the same.
Councilwoman Cohen has an amendment to the motion on the floor. as he just articulated. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Councilman Conlon. Is there any discussion on the amendment? No discussion on the amendment, so we're voting on the amendment now. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Abstained, Councilwoman O'Connor. The amendment passes. So now we will be voting on the original motion with that amended language. Is there any further discussion on that? Councilman Donovan.
Now, this committee's been involved, Mark, right?
Mark, why don't you come to the podium?
Good evening, everybody. Mark Bisaccia, CDA Manager, City of West Haven, Main Street. Yeah, this citizen participation plan was started in 2008. That's the last time it was revised. HUD came in and monitored us during the summer. They looked at it and they said, it's been a while since you've revised it, so we really want you to amend it. And they really gave us the suggestions to put in here. So that's what it's reflecting right now. With respect to the amendment, that's fine. There is a symbiotic relationship that the office has with the Citizen Advisory Committee. We have never voted on anything that should be voted on as an office staff. We always leave that to the committee. But what we do is we serve as advisors because there is a multitude of HUD regulations. For example, when they're going forth and they're analyzing the budget and putting the budget together, we have to advise them that only 15% of that number can be used for public services. So they really can't vote on giving public services any more than that 15% of what the overall entitlement number would be. So it's things like that that we sort of have that is an education process with the committee to try to make sure that they're abiding by all the regulations. So any other questions?
You're all set,
All set.
Councilman
Thank
Donovan? Is there any other questions for Mr. Bisaccia? Seeing none? Thank you, Mark. Is there any more discussion on this? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries by majority. Councilwoman O'Connor abstained. Adoption of ordinances previously presented. There are none. Are there any council liaison reports? Councilman Cohen?
Yes, the Economic Development Commission met on March 11th, and they are going strong. They are right now looking at perhaps the costing and sourcing of possible flags, West Haven, welcome to West Haven flags. They're looking at that, they're evaluating stuff like that. They're basically also going to be reaching out to some of our local district representatives, to see about maybe repainting and beautifying some of the Metro North bridges, overpasses that are a little bit sloppy right now, that are not the city's responsibility, but are entryways into the city, so it represents us in a way. They also are looking at several different slogans that I'm sure that they'll, once they finalize, I have a couple of them I really like, but I'm not going to say, that they'll basically bring to the board. And they are right now, they have established that they will be meeting every 2 weeks. And that's really all I have for that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Cohen. Is there any other liaison reports? Seeing none, we will enter into new business. Does any member have any new business? Councilman Cohen?
Yeah, this is just a quick heads up that I know that the mayor knows about and the chairman knows about, is that everyone knows, if you follow me on social media, that District 10 rocks. And of course, in this particular case, I was very pleased to see that there were some residents from my district that have really taken a lot of pride in the city and pride in what they do. And with a number of our local officials, from our Commissioner of Parks and Recreation to Public Works to the chairman himself to our tree warden, we basically have had meetings over the last 6 weeks to look at ways that, through total volunteer effort, I might add, through the Hubbard family, the Hubbard Hubbard Nature Park that has been pretty much dormant for the last couple of decades, has been upkept. It just has kind of laid there. And Nature Center is they're trying to start to revitalize that. And so they finally got their approvals. We've gone through a number of steps. They've gotten the approvals through the Park and Recreation Commission. And I've really only been the facilitator of this with the families and with the businesses. There's a couple of sponsors that will be businesses, West Haven businesses, to help really relay the paths of the trails and to refurbish the bridge and some of the brush and make it safer and make it more secure and make it beautiful. And there's going to be certain stages. You're going to hear more about this, but the reason why I'm bringing it to you now is probably in the next couple of months or thereabouts, there might be a request coming to the board for some type of lighting and so forth for safety reasons. But it's a great thing. It's a good news thing. And I'm just so proud of the people that are involved in this. And I want to publicly thank a number of the local officials that have been so supportive, from the mayor to Ron to Tom McCarthy, to Mark Payne, to Leo Kelly. It's just such a great experience and very heartwarming. It's a blessing. Thank you so much. I wanted you guys to be aware of it.
Thank you, Councilman Cohen. Is there any other new business? Okay, seeing none, I will take a motion to go into executive session for the discussion of the City of West Haven and Board of Education IT infrastructure plan. Those besides us in executive session are Mayor Rossi, Corp Counsel Tiernan, Finance Director Chaplinsky, and David Richards. Do I have a motion?
So motion.
Motion by Councilman Galagnano and Councilman Donovan. Second? Second, Councilman Bruno, Councilwoman O'Connor. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, we're going to go into executive session. Thank you. Oh, yeah, you're way up at the bottom.
Stacy. Stacy. Thanks.